Do, 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 do. Poor dang intro. There it is.
Hey!
Patricia, batten down. That storm is coming. You might want to hide in the basement. Be careful. That storm is coming. Good evening. How is everyone? Susan, how are you? Laura, Colette, how's everybody
Happy
doing?
Thursday. Happy Thursday. I know. I'm like, it's cold. I'm like, as you can see, I'm kind of like, I was, he's trying to put some stuff together because he wants to do something tonight with the question of the day. So he's looking up the different things. What is that going to make soup on Saturday? Yeah, I would like some soup. Anyways, you guys all watched the live. I didn't, of John at the Creeper Gallery the other night. I just didn't have the chutzpah that he does to keep going nonstop. So after he finds, are you going to talk about your experiments with the experiences what you had that night? I don't even know what you investigated. Maybe you guys could tell me what he investigated. I have no clue. None.
I'm sorry. Did I let you take the lead for a minute? I apologize, people. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to put you through the. Anyway.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Creepy doll. Yes, that was one of them. The papoose. Hey, John McGinnis. How are you? And I think the guy's name was Charlie. It was a watch fob. It was pretty good. I mean, the doll was pretty cool. Yeah, at the end, the bad luck doll, that was pretty cool.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So we decided to get in the Wayback Machine and do this thing that we used to do back when we were doing this during COVID. And what am I doing? I don't have my sunglasses. I think I left them in the room. And
I'll get them for you.
I'll get it. You're gonna have to step all around that.
You
go ahead and entertain them like you were doing before.
You do just fine. You do just you fine.
This is again. Appreciate me, please. Learn to appreciate me if you don't already, because I lift my weight and the weight of so many others around me.
Hey, we all have our talents.
Are you going to sit down? Is this going to take 20 minutes for you to dance around the back of the TV? My goodness.
And he still lives. Why? I ask myself. Why?
Anyway, we're going to go into the Wayback Machine. When we were doing this during COVID, hey Jay, we were on practically every night doing live streams, and that's where a lot of people came to know us and started following us and watching the streams that we were doing. And we were just, again, there was no investigation. I think we went to Creeper Gallery and a few other places, but we would mostly just come on here and talk like what we do all the time. And back in those days, I wasn't doing the reels. I was doing, I was creating memes. I was doing, hey, Tommy, I was doing a lot of question of the day, which everybody and their mother took and started borrowing. And then I just said, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. Hey, Alex. Remember Alex? From,
yes, I do.
But so we would, every now and then, we would just go through all the question of the days and we would answer them honestly, knowing that we're completely different people. Hey, Gene.
That's the truth.
Deb, it kept me sane. It kept us sane too, for sure. I mean, again, and we had fun doing it, you know?
Hey, Jeannie.
So we're going to bring that back. We're going to go through a lot of the old questions of the day, and you can answer them however you want to answer them, and I'll answer them, and Chris will answer them. I'm sure every answer will be different for us. And we even saw other people doing this, which was kind of funny. I don't want to name names, but like to watch other people, like couples that are do their own podcasting and they're doing their own version of what we were doing back during the COVID days. It kind of, again, it is complimentary that people are like watching and they're going, "Hey, that's a good idea," you know.
Well, you
Thank you. So yes, Chris, if you didn't see that, she nodded at me. So
what did you
please,
want me to
please
say?
nod
Yes,
at them
John,
now.
it was an awesome
Please.
idea.
Nod
It
at them now,
was
so they can
phenomenal.
now see.
I
what
was
see.
because in my mindset, I'm thinking how you already have my answers. You think you already know my answers. You think you know me so well.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. All of a sudden, we're the Muppets. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Hello, Kay. How are you? So we're doing this again because for tomorrow night we have an event, Caldwell Parsonage. Um, Saturday during the day is a psychic fair, and then Saturday night is Liberty Hall, which there's gonna be no time to do live streams until after all of that stuff is done, which will be Sunday or Monday.
Just to put it out there, the psychic fair is indoors. It is not
Chris
an
Sanders,
outdoor
how are
event.
you? Chris Sanders had a very successful event, I hear, in Sleepy Hollow.
I'm so sorry, Jennifer.
I mean, how much? Oh, sorry, Jennifer. My condolences. Honestly, I've been there and
so very sorry.
Yes, condolences to you and your family.
And you got to get well soon. Get over that COVID.
So, we are going to try to lighten things up and kind of give you a laugh or two if that's possible. Chris, nod if you agree.
I agree.
Yes, thank you. So we're going to start with the first question of the day, and I have to scroll because normally they're like all there. In the past, when I did this, now I have to go back months because again, it's been so long. I'm going to try to hold them up to the camera so you guys can see what the picture looks like, the meme as the kids saw it, say, and along with the question, so you get the full effect. But here's one right off the bat. It says this, and I'm going to show you what this is set up of at a party that you've been invited to. Do you leave, partake, or just ignore it? So you walk in, there's a party going on. They got this set up. It's a Ouija board with candles all around it. See that? So you're at a party. People are in the kitchen. This is going on. A lot of people are doing it or watching it. What do you do if you walk in to see that?
I wouldn't run out.
I said run out. No one said run.
I wouldn't leave. I would actually sit back and watch and see how they're doing it because I'm a firm believer that I would partake depending on who is doing it and for what reason. So I would initially watch, just like Teresa said. You're spot on with that. That's me. I would watch, see what the intention is, who's there, is it serious? Because I don't believe by just doing a Ouija board that it's a bad thing. I think it's all about the intention and the energy with which you're doing it. That's me personally.
So I'm gonna sideways this a little bit before I answer. Dave Schrader got a lot of guff for the reel that I posted, where he was saying that using a Ouija board, doesn't automatically it's demonic or summon demons. That it is a spirit communication type of board, but he said the same thing. It's the intention you go into it, and people were commenting, "Oh, you've never done it. Oh, you've never had this happen or that happen." So I get that people how they feel about them. I don't feel that way, but that's me. If it were me, I walk in, I see all these people gathered around. I'm gonna watch first and see what's going on, see who's doing it, see what's happening, and then me being me, because I've done this before and I drive people crazy. Don't ever ask me to watch a table tips session because you'll throw me out and you'll never want me back again. But anyway, I'm going to sidebar again in a minute because that's going to lead me to a whole nother story. But I would walk in and I would watch. And if someone said to me, John, you're a non-believer. Sit down, put your hands on there, see what happens. I would participate. I would.
Yeah, I know you
no
would.
fear whatsoever.
You don't.
And I guarantee everyone watching and whoever, it would not move one iota. Not one.
For you.
Not one. And it's not because I believe, I've seen enough to where I believe more than probably a lot of you. It's not as if I don't believe. It's just, I think the Ouija board is just crap. I really do. I don't think there's anything to it. Me.
Well,
I'm not finished with my answer yet, but I would participate, and I would ask as a person watching if someone really had it going, because I've seen people, oh wow, oh, they could paint the house. If you draw a Ouija board on certain people's walls and gave them a paintbrush, they get your whole house done for you because they're going crazy with that thing. But I would then say, hey, could you people who's got that thing going crazy, could you get up and let that guy or that guy or that guy try it?
But I have to say, is there a part of you that the door's a little open to if you were in a different setting with different people and it was done seriously and you knew that these people weren't faking or trying to get attention?
I think every time it moves, that someone's manipulating.
Well, I do not. I do not.
Okay.
I do, but I do believe 100% that there are people out there. There's in any walk of life and whatever you're doing, that there are people that are going to fabricate and do because
it could be subconsciously. They may not even know that they're doing it.
Absolutely. But where I differ from you is that I do believe, and I believe this wholeheartedly, like I do with anything else. If your intentions are bad and you've got the consensus around you of people where they think they're going to sit there and summon demons, and I'm not saying you're summoning a demon, but I do believe that you can bring something dark in and create bad things to happen, just as well as if you're sitting around and you want to communicate with a loved one or a good spirit. It's all in what's surrounding you. I always raise my daughters, and I still believe in this: negative attracts negative, positive gets positive. It is always about the intention. And what is your intention?
So again, along that theory,
and you could be misguided.
Let's say 5 people, no Ouija board, nothing. Let's say 5 people are sitting in this room.
Yep.
In a circle, whatever.
Yep.
And all 5 people made the agreement that we're going to try to just seance, whatever you want to call it, hold hands, or we'll just openly try to communicate with whatever spirits are around us. But we all agree, good intentions. We're not going to do anything weird. But unbeknownst to the 4 other people, one person in the group is thinking to themselves, boy, I hope something dark comes through. I'm in my head talking to the negative and the dark going, yeah, come on in. You know who I'm talking to. Come on in. You still think that could draw?
I don't think to the magnet, not to the magnitude.
Because that's what you're doing with your Ouija board. How's it any different?
It's not. I don't disagree with you on that whatsoever. But when you've got 4 people with a 1, the balance of the good outweighs the 1 bad. But it still can create a ripple where something bad could come, but not to the extent as if all of you were focusing on that.
Okay.
I believe there's balance.
All right. If that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Okay. But again, watching people do things, I'm not even going to reference like this place that we went to. I'm going to reference a very, very old, it wasn't a case. It was sort of a case we went on. This woman who worked in a business, right? We're going way back machine. We're going way back. She contacts me and says, I do table tipping at my job. She didn't call it table tipping at the time. She said she uses the table, and it was a flimsy aluminum, what do you call those? Fold out tables.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
It was very flimsy.
You know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
Right?
You can lift it with your pinky.
And she goes, I can have this. Me and my coworker and a guy, I don't even know if she said it was an ex-police officer or whatever.
Yes.
We're actually maintaining a notebook because we can communicate with the spirit in this building every day. We worked out a system with this table where the letter A is one way and B is another. And we have a whole notebook where we're writing down what happened to this spirit in the building. And I was just like, wow, seriously? And she said, I said, this happens all the time. She said, I can any time of day with you there or you not there, I can pull that table out and it's going to happen. And I said, you know me. I'm like, can we film it? And she said, sure, film it. So here we go. Again, I'm the worst person in the world to invite over. Just in case you're wondering, don't ever invite me. Don't do it. So I'm there and I'm filming and I'm watching. And I'm watching these 3 people, older women, sit at this table on different, maybe 4 different, on different corners with their fingers on the table. And they're talking. And nothing's happening. And I'm just kind of watching like, okay. And I'm dead set, peering at the table, and I'm watching their hands to see if they ever go from just lightly finger to pressed. And sure enough, the one person who called us in there and said that to make this happen, the table leaned their way every single time. And you could see the hand. She tried, but I didn't say anything to her. I didn't say.
But she even had the thing where they're slightly touching because it's aluminum.
Oh,
aluminum. So
feather.
Where she could like move it and everybody was like, oh.
Yeah. So I didn't say anything to her. I didn't want to embarrass her. I didn't say anything. We finished and she said to me, what do you think? I said, I think that table is very easily moved. And I think if I sat down at that table with you, or if we removed you from the table, that table isn't going to move one bit.
And you did.
She got up, she walked off. I took her place. Nada. And why was that? Because of my energy. I was the one who was stopping. Get the front door out of here. So anyway,
I was sitting next to her. She was doing it. I literally, John had me sit right next to her and he stayed over watching. And again, if you really watch people really closely, you can see there's a way that things react when your muscles compress. And she was doing it. And again, it didn't take much. It was an aluminum table, but it was only on her end. Everybody else was not doing anything, had their fingers lightly, and she was controlling. And she even went so far as to lift her hands up off the table, which John could not see from his end, and she used her knee.
Yeah, her knee was underneath the bottom of it.
She used her knee and I was able to see that. So that was kind of not cool.
Hey, April, I just saw you there. I always pick up new ways to swear from you, John. I try to be good. I do curse. I curse often, and but I try not to curse when I'm doing these things or I'm in front of people in public. I try to. This one, you get her in a car, sailor, within 5 minutes. Truck driver, she's at a foul mouth, very foul. Anyway, second question. The first one only took us 20 minutes. Let's see how many of these we get through. Okay, I'm going to ask this question a little bit different than it was originally created on the meme, as the kids say. It's about an inheritance, and I'm gonna twist this a little different. Okay, you inherit a property or a house. Okay, now let's say this property is worth a lot of money, right? But you know, based on the people that lived there before or what people are saying in town or whatever, you know, or your own proof, you know, this place is infested with dark energy, demonic, negative, whatever. You know that this is a bad place, but you inherit it. What would you do? Would you try to sell it? Would you live in it? Or would you tear it down and build new? So
is it the land or the
house? The house is where they've experienced everything.
The house is it, not the land.
Let's say like Amityville, if Amityville was real and all that stuff.
Can I have another option?
No, that's it. Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. Door number 2 is a bad one.
Because I'm smart enough to know that tearing it down would take away the ability to study and try to find answers. I would not live in it. I would not sell it. And if I can't keep it to and close it off and just use it for study, then it would have to be torn down. Because there's no way I would put somebody else through that, not knowingly.
Since you would live in it, April says sell it after she investigates it. Patricia says have it cleaned and sell it. Cleaned. When you say that, Patricia, it makes me sound like people launder money. Like, have it cleaned and then sell it.
Or I'm going to bring in the cleaner. I was going to clean up this mess.
I would tear the thing down have the land, even though I'm not a big believer of this, but I would tear it down, have the land blessed by several different.
Why would you do that if you don't believe in that?
Just for the people who are moving on, who would buy the land, for them.
Just in case it works?
Yeah, exactly. For them, not for me. But that's what I would do. Because again, let's say the land was really worth something. I wouldn't just demolish it or leave it there to rot or whatever. I mean, let's face it, normal people would want that property to make something. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go back to when everybody's saying I'd live in it. Now let's take away from TV, interesting, haunting, entertaining, dark. Something dark things live there where you would be, things would be coming at you tortured. There's a difference in that. It's not just that you're hearing banging noises and like, if you're tormented, I was tormented when I was younger. So I can say this with complete and open honesty that there's no way in this world would I be moving in to live and open that door ever again as long as I live. I would never do that. Well, that's not fun to me. Now, it's one thing to investigate something. And again, you do the dark stuff. I do not. But to move and live with it and not be, no.
Well,
or to put it on someone else.
This one along the same lines. Let's say a situation like Amityville Horror, okay? Beautiful house in your price range. You've got a decent sized family where you can't afford, the houses with the space. Yet, I'm going to spin this. Let's say there was a family murdered there, but the family that's selling it has lived there for 10 years without incident. Would you move into that house, knowing that a whole family was murdered?
Okay, so here's the thing on that. I honestly do 100% believe you can feel, if you're open to it and you understand, you can walk in somewhere and feel if there's a bad energy in there.
So you would do that and then decide whether you're going to buy it or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't go, I'd buy it. And like,
I would not.
Just because there was a murder that contained...
Just because, let's say if it wasn't quote unquote haunted or nothing, that would be in my head.
The murders.
And I couldn't live with that. The energy within me in my head of knowing that people lost their lives in that room in such a horrible way, it would just be on my brain too much.
But do you know?
Well, and it wouldn't be fear. It was just the depression.
Know.
I would be surrounded
by. Do you know how many people do die in a lot of places that you're not aware of, that you're in that space?
Yeah, but I would be aware of it.
So you're just saying you're aware. So if you were
especially
aware,
if they were brutally murdered. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I think anything where something violently happened, there's always a stain there. I don't think you can fully get away from it.
I don't know about that, but
I do.
Again, I think
people
have lived in Amityville since the Lutzes moved out of there. Nothing has happened.
I honestly, I don't know if I could either. I don't know. Not if someone just died of a heart attack. I've lived in a house where somebody died. A couple of them. And they weren't bad. They were just where somebody had passed. And one of them was the spirit of a little girl that was my playmate, strangely enough, when I was younger. I know. But no, not when you're little. You don't smoke that crap. And I still don't smoke that stuff. So stop. Anyways, if something violent happened somewhere to that extent, like a murder where somebody was, I don't think I could either.
Well, I'm just the feeling of knowing. It would depress the hell out of me every single day.
Yeah, if I didn't know about it.
Now I'm in my whatever, my whatever man cave room or whatever, a room where, and yet every time I go in there, I'm thinking, boy, there was a little kid who lived here, and one day someone just came in, and you know what I mean? That would just depress the hell out of me. Every time I entered the door to that house and I walked in, I would get depressed. I know me. It's not about being an empath or anything.
No, it's just how you feel about the idea.
Like, what happened here? Poor family.
Michelle said about that before she bought her house that the realtor let her have the code and she went in there and she sat there to get the feel of it. I like that.
So that was a good one. Okay, next question. Any building at all that supposedly has paranormal activity, you walk in, you're walking down, let's say, the hall by yourself to go to the bathroom and stuff, and that happened to you. You feel a hand on your shoulder, you turn around, you actually see an apparition What do you do next?
It would scare me. First, foremost, my reaction would be.
I already know what your reaction would be, but I'm waiting to see what you're going to say.
I'd probably yelp and like holler, and then once my senses came back to me, and you said you're seeing an apparition there.
You would actually, you feel the hand on your shoulder, you turn around, you would see an apparition.
So it depends on what feelings come with it, because and I'm going to say why. I actually have an experience from that. When I was taking care of my mother in North Carolina, the house that we were in, it was a little dinky little house, 2-floor house, small. And I ended up staying in my mom's room with her. There were 2 beds because my mom couldn't sleep. She had brain bleed. And I actually was laying on the bed and just fell asleep. And I woke up because I felt like something was choking me. And as I woke up, there was a woman right above me, and she had her hands around my throat. And her mouth was open like she was screaming. I assumed she was trying to hurt me. So my initial was I screamed. And my mom, she didn't see the figure. She saw, why are you laughing?
I'm laughing at Chuck.
So she saw me being pulled up like this from asleep and then screaming. And she goes, what the heck? And I told her what I saw. And she goes, and it looked like you were being pulled up. And that's what it felt like. And then I told her what happened. I was scared in the moment, but after the fear went away, I was like, I saw a woman. I assumed that she was trying to choke me, but it turns out
you would run. You would run like
I didn't run. I didn't run that time.
You know it, and I know it. You heard a voice of, and you ran. Imagine seeing something. Your shoes would still be there, and you would be in the next town. I'm not to say I wouldn't.
That's right, Chuck. It does depend.
No matter what it was, if it's the shock of what happens to you. If that would have happened, I've seen 2 apparitions. None of them have touched me or been like right next to me. Anybody would feel that and turn, and you would be,
of course.
Oh my God,
yes.
And you move away first, and then
I said
that. And I know you would run. You would go find whoever else was there and be like, hey, I saw this. Come on. Let's go back, and I tell you where I know you. That's exactly what you would do. Of course, I'm not saying, Nikki, I'm not saying at all that it's a coward. I would have that reaction too. I'd get out of there in a minute.
But I've had that happen, and it turned out that it was we found out later after my parents moved out of there, that there was a murder-suicide, that a man killed his wife in that house.
You're going to have a story for every...
No, but it's the truth. I'm just saying from experience.
Okay. Next question. Creep back to see what you saw was real. If you were lucky, you'd have a REM pod with you. I would go first, yes, and then come back. It would be the initial shock of, and again, like Chuck said, even though it was joking, it would depend on
what it looked like when you feel.
Honestly, I know that's the way.
And what you feel.
I know it's superficial on how we judge things, but if I turned around and it was like that Insidious movie with the old lady.
Oh, forget it! I wouldn't be looking for any of you. I'd be gone down the street in the next state.
But if it was some little kid, like I'd be like, oh my god.
But even when we say that, we've come across where something comes off innocent and sweet, and it's really the opposite. Not me.
God, I'm not doing anything.
Oh,
here's one that's near and dear to me.
Okay.
I don't know why it's cutting all this up. Okay. I've asked this question before, and I believe I even asked this of Adam. But honestly, I think it also depends on the location you're in. Yeah, but even that, Chuck, it doesn't mean that it's the axe murderer who's there. You know what I mean? It could just be a victim, somebody who lived there before.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the logic part of your brain talking.
But your brain's going to go, you're in the axe house.
You're going to be like, holy crap. Yeah.
I'm not waiting around for the axe to fall.
So here's one. Okay. If you woke up tomorrow with the ability to speak to spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, would you A, use it to help others, B, use it to make money, C, both, or D, keep it to yourself?
As crazy as this world is today, I don't know if I would want to tell anybody.
Are you serious about that?
Yeah. I mean, my initial is I would want to help people.
See, that's a tough one for me. I'm thinking about it because I know mediums. We know legitimate mediums, and yeah, I mean, I would be a little more selective. Um, I don't know if I would. Again, I'm not trying to insult people. I mean, maybe I would use it to make money eventually, but I think initially I wouldn't, and I think a lot of
I
mediums
think if you're
do.
broke and starving, we would.
No, I think
would.
initially mediums all kind of start out that way, but so many people want, you know. But I think I would be very selective and use my
Okay.
keep it to myself with any ability. It will take some time for you. Yeah, well, I understand that too, Nikki. But I'm just saying.
But I think if you could see and talk to a spirit, I mean, forget any of this developing
I would drive
or
them crazy,
whatever.
and they would tell all the others never come around me.
And probably.
That I know for sure.
I mean, if I could see them and I'd want to help others. Now, the bottom line is,
see, I think David's kind of
if
right.
if I need money to keep the roof over my head and keep my belly full, then comes that part where
But you're doing that now without doing that.
If no, I'm saying if I was in the situation.
Let's say you weren't. Let's say you're in the same exact situation you're in now.
Now I would help people. I would help people. But my first instinct right now, the way this world is that I probably wouldn't want anybody to know. I'd want to keep it. Yeah, no.
I think that's what I would do. David said that, and I think that's probably initially for sure that would be the way I would do it. If I saw somebody, who I know was struggling or doing what we do, and it came up in conversation, I would say, hey, look, whether you believe it or not, but I think I have this ability, and if you're open to it, let me just see what I could bring.
Got ya.
More into maybe not. But again, these are really there are no right or wrong with this. No. It's all to the individual, and
I think it's always the situation and whatever predicament you're in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I
asked this one before, and the answer's still the same for me, but I'll ask it again. Open it up to you guys. If you saw someone, quote unquote, ghost hunting at your loved one's gravesite, would you A, ask them to leave, B, watch them and see what happens, or C, join them in their investigation?
No, a loved one of my, if my mom and daughter hadn't been cremated, yeah, no, I can honestly say, very honestly, that would be a hard pill for me to swallow. And nothing against anybody that does it, but for me personally, being there and seeing that, I don't think I can handle that too well. And I would ask them to stop.
I've asked this before. I've answered this before. And now it's, again, I've done it, not randomly in cemeteries. And I don't begrudge anybody doing what they do. But if I walked into a cemetery and I saw anybody by my mother's grave, and my mother was cremated as well, with K2 meters, spirit box, recorder, I would say you need to go right now. And don't go over there, go over there, go over there, go over there, but do not stay.
So I'm going to add something to it. Do you think with time it would be more acceptable to you? So 50 years from now, it would still feel the same way.
Never. Not my mother. No. So again, that's me personally.
And that's because we have a personal, when there's a personal and emotional tie, it kind of changes the perspective.
And this was always my thing with, again, this is, people are saying this to leave, say no solicitation. This is always my thing when it comes to the ethics within this field. We talk about Stephen Huff all the time, and if you don't know who he is, he's a guy who will literally do a spirit box session for a celebrity who just died that day, and, is it immoral, unethical, probably, but he would justify it as saying, I'm doing research. It's no different than me trying to talk to a spirit who died in the 1800s as me talking to a spirit who died 18 minutes ago. And we all go to that. What are our ethics? What are our beliefs? What are our emotions when it ties in? 9/11. I always bring this up because um, Auschwitz, 9/11, those places like Gettysburg are probably loaded with spirits. If you believe in that, that Gettysburg is haunted, then how could the area of 9/11 and
Not
those
be.
places not be?
Yeah.
It just, it doesn't work that way. But would anybody ever think of taking a spirit box and all that and going to, no, you just went because
I wouldn't.
it was too recent and it meant something to all of us. But that's different. Again, I'm getting sidetracked. I would join in, kind of control it, not so much chase them away. Yeah, Alex, I get it, and I do. Believe me, I get it. On some level, I do, but not my mother. No, if I saw anybody there, they better leave quickly.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if with time, if my perspective would change,
Not
but
me.
it's all too new
Not me.
and I'm too emotionally involved
Yes.
to detach myself from that.
Okay. All right. Here's another multiple choice things because I did these a lot. This is just a broad question. Spirits are question mark around us all the time, everywhere. 2, only in places that they choose to stay or remain. 3, only around when people speak out loud to them.
I have no friggin' idea.
So again, I said around us all the time, everywhere, only in places that they choose to stay or remain. Or number 3, only around when people speak out loud to them. I'm going to say all 3. All 3. I believe in all 3. And their choosing is probably the best answer for that because it is their choosing. I believe. Other people may not believe that. Some people believe they're trapped or they don't want to move on or they stay in one area. They're confused.
Trapped
they
is the
dead.
right word. Confused.
Some people do believe
I know
that they are trapped in different locations.
I don't know because I don't know if I like the idea of knowing that spirits are around us all the time.
I mean, you have to believe that there's more of them than they are of us. I mean, more people passed on this planet.
But
all right, here's a fun one. You've been invited to investigate Dracula's castle. Would you do it?
Yes.
You would last.
I may only last 2 minutes, but I am fascinated by that.
I would love.
I am fascinated by that. Would I stay? Would I? I mean, as long as the real Dracula's not there in his coffin.
The real Dracula? Was he be by the real Santa Claus on the other side of town?
I'm being funny, but yeah, I've always wanted to do a castle. I have such fascination.
Me too. There's got to be, if you believe in stone tape theory, where spirits, are kind of attached to, brick and mortar buildings, objects, or whatever. Castles have been around forever. Those walls have seen things generation after generation after generation. Families, and again, that's tragic from little to big.
Even the belief systems back then.
I mean, I think they would be amazing. Like you said, if they had dungeons, forget it, even better. But yeah, if someone invited me, I would definitely.
Now, not alone. I will put that out there.
I never said
not alone. I won't do it alone.
No. All right. Next question. Do you believe that animals can sense negative energy?
Yes, I do. I do. I do.
I mean, it's a tough one because their senses are heightened. They have way more senses than we do.
They have not learned to ignore their instincts. I think things are instinctive. and they're closer to their instincts than we are.
So you think animals have more intuition than humans have?
I do, because we desensitize ourselves. We turn off our senses of being aware and just, I mean, even being in a room with a crowd of people, we have learned to, if you're uncomfortable with something, just ignore it. It's on you. There's nothing wrong with it. Just suck it up. When really our energy is telling us something is not mixing with our energy. There's something wrong. Where animals don't have that.
Is it a sensory thing, like they can hear better, they can smell better, or is it an intuitive?
I think it's all the above.
Maybe.
I think it's all. I don't think you can separate that. I think each one brings something to the table when it comes to that. And I think we have taught ourselves to be very desensitized. And we miss all the warning signs that are laid out for us.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. And yeah, people, I mean, I've had dogs my whole entire life. So I know my dogs can pick up when there's an argument going on, when there's people upset. My dogs, all of my dogs have kind of jumped on my lap and wanted to be pet because they could sense what was going on in the room, whether people are upset or there was an argument, or, and they do have issues where dogs have been like kind of afraid to go in one part of the house.
Yeah.
You hear that a lot.
What about the fact is that pets that are used for soothing anxiety, travel for companions for those who suffer from it, different forms of mental illness, and people who have seizures and different health issues, where the animals are the ones that will signal when that person is at a danger point or something has changed within their body chemical. There's a lot of different things. So yeah, I believe this one. Yes, just like what Laura just said, they can predict having seizures, and there's so much more. There's so many animals out there that they're just so sensitive to things because they haven't been taught how to desensitize.
And they're born with all of those heightened senses as well.
We are too. We lose them as we go. I believe
we don't hear as good as dogs, smell as good as dogs.
No, but we have other things that offset that we ignore. Because if you were a survivalist or whatever, you do have all of those different senses that you pick up on. There's no way we
run around the house looking at the ceiling, look to find out women who own the house. Oh my God! Oh,
okay. That's crazy.
Okay, so this is a fun one. And I'm sure this is going to be different I'm just curious what the answer is going to be for this one for other people, everyone. So you hear there's a knock on your door. Let's say it's nighttime. Okay. You open the door and at your feet is a doll, creepy looking doll, with a note on it that says, "She's your problem now, haunted, don't throw away. You have to give to somebody else."
Who would be sick enough to do that to you? And if you didn't know, I'm closing the door. This is like
a movie theme.
Close the freaking door.
That's an option. Close the door.
Close the door.
Throw the doll out to kick it off your porch.
No,
throw it in the garbage.
I'm not accepting.
Kick it across the street. So that
means you have to come into contact to it. Me, it's just like shut the door. Just act like you never even let whatever nature
put it on my neighbor's porch. Damn, I wonder which neighbor we're talking about. Please let me know which neighbor that is. See, here's, I would not touch it. Yeah. See, again, that doll I investigated this past. If you mention the words bad luck, curse to me, I get in. That freaks me out because I've had bad things attached to me that caused horrific luck for me, where even made me a believer, where I went so far as to get Reiki because I just couldn't break whatever was going on. It was just, and I don't believe Reiki one bit. And I could not get rid of this bad luck attachment that was on me. And so something like that, it would freak me out and I wouldn't pick it up. No, but I would ask somebody to come and
who
deal with it. Or I'd go like grab like a garbage bag and I would grab a garbage bag.
It's not
but
like
I would be leery because I'm so superstitious and I get so freaked out by things. I would be concerned about throwing that out.
But I'm gonna say who would you
I'd
call?
probably give it to John Zappis.
You'd call John Zappis,
Yeah.
come get it.
I'd drive it to him.
You would drive it to him.
Yeah, I would say
I
take
wouldn't
it,
even touch
do a
it.
binding thing.
I would
I
shut
don't want
the
this
door.
thing anywhere near
I would
me.
because you don't have a yellow pages where you can call 1-800-CREEPY-DOLL pickup. I mean, you literally.
I got John Zappis. Pretty much the same thing. But I would be, again, I'm so mindful of negative and because it's so much crap has happened where it just peaks and valleys, man. When that bad starts coming, it's like a tidal wave. And sometimes you have to wait until it goes and the water recedes. And I hate the hint of bad luck. And I'm freaked out.
Just like the movie, you put the doll in your car to drive it there and you'd never get there.
The Reiki didn't work. So placebo is a real thing. And even in this field, placebo is a real thing. We say this all the time, that sometimes there is nothing paranormal going on in a person's home or business or something like that, but they believe so strongly that there is, that you provide them with tools and things to remedy a problem that maybe is not a real problem. So can I finish, please?
Yeah, please.
So when I went for the Reiki, I was very, very desperate. Very desperate. And that it was one thing after another, after another, after another. So I lay down on this table, and this person is telling me they're pulling snake-like things off of me, eels and stuff. Slugs. One after the other, after the other. And this went on for a good, 30 minutes, an hour. So when she finished, I'll tell you the truth, I was kind of lightheaded, but I'm also lightheaded when I go through MRIs once a year where I'm in that machine for 3 hours. I kid you not. She'll tell you that. 3 hours I'm in that machine. And when I come out of that thing, I'm disoriented and dizzy. And that's the way I felt. So she told me that she did whatever she did, and she told me how to protect myself. And I left there and I did feel lighter. Now, was it because in my head I thought, thank God, something to finally put a wedge in that bad luck door to keep it from slamming on me again? Or did it really work? I don't know. It did work though. And my mindset changed. And the first hint of things being good again, I was like, okay, I'm on that path again.
For full disclosure, he was woozy. He was super relaxed. And literally, he was super relaxed. And he slept really good after it had happened. And he did. He felt like the weight of the world had been lifted off his shoulders. So if you don't believe in something and you went and you did it because you were so desperate, if it actually wasn't something that helped you or worked, why would you say it was just a placebo? Because you wanted it so bad to work?
Maybe the universe was done with that cycle anyway.
So you've got your little catch-2 little package.
And maybe it was a matter of me changing my mindset. I like you said, positive gets positive, negative gets negative. I'm putting it out there all the time. God, a bad thing. God, another bad thing. I'm being a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So what
just by
changed?
my mindset.
What changed from you?
She gave me your magic whoopie doopie doopie and changed my brain.
It's not a whoopie doopie doopie.
It was.
If you don't believe in it. And why would all of a sudden
just like when I went to the priest to get my stuff blessed? I was nuts then because I thought a bracelet and a ring were bad luck. I never went for a blessing in my life. I was so desperate. I went to go get a blessing.
It worked. The Reiki worked for whatever reason. You don't need to take and pull out your little cachet from behind your back and go, well, the reason why it worked was because I had a different mindset. And the reason why it worked was because the bad stuff. As a logical person,
it could have been placebo. You're saying there's a chance it couldn't have been?
I think because I was there and I know all the things that were going on, and it was it just wasn't getting better. It was getting worse and worse and worse and worse from day to day to day. I really do believe, no matter what the reason or the cause, you laying there and her doing what she did, and you're not a skeptic, you're a cynic. You believe in nothing. And just like the thing that happened with the curse, you didn't believe in curses until after that happened and you were shown differently. I have no understanding why you aren't even just a crack more open to the fact that maybe that Reiki really did help.
I believe it.
And you'll run right back to it if that ever happens again.
No, I wouldn't. I get the priest again. That was painless. So I had to do sit there, and he did a couple of these things, some oil on my hands, bada bing, bada boom. I was out. It was like a car wash. I should do Reiki on a coworker, get rid of her migraines, my headache was gone. Okay, here's another fun one. This involves money again, because if you need money, you would do things for money normally that you wouldn't do. Correct?
That's true.
If you had high,
That's true.
You pay off your house or whatever.
That's true.
Okay. You have to, in an abandoned hospital or asylum, whatever we want to call it, you have to lay down on the slab in the morgue, let them slide you in, shut the door in the dark, and stay there for 20 minutes in total darkness for $100,000.
I couldn't do it.
What'd you do?
I couldn't do it. It's not what I'd want to, but couldn't do it.
You wouldn't even try.
I couldn't do it. I know, first, I am claustrophobic. Second of all, I know that there was a dead body there at one point, and we're at a psych hospital where the crazies used to be. No! You? Hello?
What?
You?
I would do it. I would try it. Is the slab? Yeah, let's say the slab is clean, Nikki. That doesn't have blood and guts all
See,
over
it's
it.
easy to say, yes.
I'm not saying I would last, but I'd try it.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Because I fall asleep.
The idea of someone closing, like if you just push me in with the door not being closed, maybe, and that's a little maybe. But the door closed, that is a definitive nope. Not jumping up there. No.
Okay, here's another good one. This is along the lines of the same one, but just the same as well. You open your front door to find a note that says, someone put a curse on you. Are you concerned, or do you just crumple up the paper and throw it out? Or let's say the note said put a curse.
I'd burn it. And I would.
Is that saying that you're concerned, or
no, I'm rejecting it.
You're going to hand
I will not give you the power to put that curse on me. No way. I send it back to you. I burn it.
I gotta be honest, I would get freaked out. I wouldn't.
I get freaked out.
I would throw it out, but it would plant a seed that I don't want planted in my head, because I would think if someone had the nuts to sit there and write the thing and then drive to where I live and put it to my door, that's like we always talk about intention. That's intention alone that someone's got a problem, and they put it on paper infused with that negative energy.
That's why I burn it.
Put it on my friggin' door.
That's why I
so
burn it.
I would definitely have to do something about that, because it would freak me out on a few different levels.
I'd burn it. And as I'm burning it, I would say, no, it's back on you. I'm not accepting it.
I'll tell you something.
You didn't just say, Alex, say for 100,000, he would sleep. He would lay down next to a corpse.
Wow.
Not me.
That is,
no.
That's out there.
Yeah, yeah, I'd leave a note back, said Nikki. I'd be more concerned the person knows where I live.
Again, I freak out about that stuff. So for me,
yeah, things get in your psyche.
It would get in my head so bad, because it's not only the fact that someone did it, the fact that the world is such a dangerous place in general.
It is.
It only takes one nut.
That's all.
One.
Oh,
one nut. And somebody doing that to you, like I was going to tell a story about Jane Doherty. When I was going through a lot of stuff, this is before the Reiki, and I talked to Jane, and before I went for the Reiki, Jane was telling me, you have to combat the negativity that's coming in. So she told me, put a mirror in every corner of the room facing like the outside the window so that the negativity can't even get in. It would just bounce off the mirror and head back to wherever the people that were sending it at me. And I'm like, well, Gene, I'm at the point where I need like an Elton John mirror glasses, jacket, and a hat, and sunglasses, and shoes just to protect me when I'm out there all the time. Because here, this is part of the problem, but it's all the time.
All the time.
So, yeah, I was desperate. Corpse won't steal the blanket.
But you see, I'm a firm believer when it comes to curses and stuff like that. When somebody wishes bad on you, because that's what a curse is. Somebody is conjuring bad juju onto you. I'm a firm believer, and this is just my take, is that if you will not accept it and you won't let it be part of your psyche, you're the one that's in control. So you're pushing that energy back. You're not allowing it into your space.
But beyond that, how far are they willing to go?
Well,
what
that's
I mean?
different.
That's all part of the freaks me out thing. You know what I mean?
They were willing to put the note down. If I don't, what does it go from there? What's it like a stalker? Where does this go from here? Where does it escalate?
Because I watched too many of those videos on YouTube of those crime things. Anyway,
I'd burn it.
We'll try to get one or two more. This is the next, maybe the last one or next to the last one. You're inside a haunted building. You hear voices coming from a room. You open the door and you see that. A room full of dolls and nothing else. Do you go inside?
No. I have no curiosity. I don't want to know.
Oh, Lordy.
I'm being very, you said to be honest. I'm being honest.
I would go inside.
Oh, he'd roll in them.
Heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Which one is the creepiest one?
Oh, which one you were talking?
Come on.
Which one you were talking? Earlier talking. I would in a minute. The scariest thing that I think could ever happen to me, and it involves like horror movie type of stuff. And I've only seen it happen to us, meeting me, Chris, Tanya, Kenny, one time. One time. What freaks me out, the thought of it freaks me out. Apparitions, yeah, touching me and seeing, but being in a room alone and walking in and having the door shut behind me and not be able to open it, I've had nightmares like that in my life. To have that actually happen would freak me out. And that doesn't involve dolls or nothing. Just knowing that I wandered into a room that was dark in a haunted place and that door shut behind me and I couldn't get it open.
Not that you got a million dolls in that bloody room that if they moved, head turned, eyes winked, or got up and come running at you like Chucky the doll. I mean, you've seen the puppet movies. You've seen the doll.
I do. Even though I do this and I'm in the dark all the time, I have a fear of the dark. I mean, I since I was that big, I've been afraid of the dark because I told you my basement had the pull string.
Yeah,
and you had attic was right there, right before my bedroom. And if I had to go to the bathroom as a little kid, I had to, and the door always seemed to be open. Same thing with my closet door, like every other kid. You wake up in the middle of the night, the closet door seems to be open a little bit, and you're in the pitch black. So it freaks me out. So here's the very last one. It's almost the same as the other one, but close. And I like this one because you wonder what you would do. Okay. Let's say, again, being with other people gives you more courage. Let's say you're by yourself. You're in a haunted building. You're wandering around. Same type of like the dolls, but you hear, "Help me! I'm down here."
Oh no!
And you look down, and there's a trap door.
No.
Would you
No.
take a peek?
Well,
would you call the cops because it could be a person trapped down there?
I call the cops, but I don't think, because all of the help me's are a trick to get you to go down there.
I would probably respond back to it and say, who are you? Why are you down there? And if they said, "Help me, I need help, come down here," I would call the cops. You know what I mean?
Compared to what? Help, go away?
No, hey, I'm the person, I'm whatever. I lived here. This is my home. I'd be like,
"Help, I've fallen, I can't get up."
I'd be like, "Hey, there's a ghosty down there. I may be inclined to go down there."
Yeah, no. Is there a red balloon? Nikki wants to know.
Not that one. All right, one more, and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah, I call the cops. Sorry, I'm calling the cops. Help me? Yeah, I'm going to help you. Let me help you by making sure I can get out to call for help.
All right, last one. And I like this one too because it makes you think. What would you do? A friend tells you that their house is extremely haunted and offers to let you spend the night to see for yourself. Would you do it?
Alone or with people?
Either way, whatever. And either way, extremely haunted means extremely haunted. That things happen all the time and could be good, could be
But
bad.
you see, but you just, yeah, but if they're just saying, hey, my house is haunted, come in, it's like that. That's
well, let's say they said, my house is Amityville horror.
no.
And we see things and the refrigerator moves and we hear screams and yells. Come on over, you can see
No.
for yourself.
No. I'm sorry. I've no. This sounds harsh, and I'm sorry because we do what we do. But no, I love doing this to educate people. But I don't want to go into those situations. I don't go running into them. I run from them.
The correct answer is
That's not a correct
yes.
answer. That means you all are cuckoo, cuckoo. That's what it means.
Oh, you're doing Bigfoot. Bigfoot might be out there now. You're calling Bigfoot.
I'm doing cuckoo.
No, that's a Bigfoot. He might be out there.
You guys, all those slabs will be all open for you at the mortuary by going over to those haunted because no.
I would do it because
if somebody said, hey, Casper comes and delivers cupcakes to the bedside at night, or he just comes and sits at the end of the bed to talk. Whole different scenario. But if you tell me, hey, you want to check out when things are flying and doing this and doors are opening.
If they came to you, this is a good friend. I won't name any because I know your friends. And if they said to you, hey man, all of a sudden, last night out of nowhere, I've got things moving around on their own in my kitchen. I'm hearing screams. Things are, flying off the wall. I don't know if I'm going crazy here, but would you come spend the night with me to see, am I crazy or if this is really happening?
I would attempt to help the person and my friend, but if that shit starts going on, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you can leave with me. We can get somebody to help you, but I'm not your help.
Okay.
I'm witnessing it and validating for you, but
very honest.
I am being honest. I'm telling you exactly how I'd react and how I'd want to help. I'd want to let you know you're not crazy.
But I can help you from my home. Let's FaceTime or
but you guys talk about. Listen,
and
I want to take the joking aside. It's one thing just witnessing something, but when something is interacting and harming you mentally, physically, psychologically, and you're being tortured, it's a whole different ball game. It's not cutesy. It's not, oh, look it, that's something the little table.
We do. We try to help people dealing with that stuff.
Yes, I get that, John. I get that. And I will be there to be the support for the trauma of when somebody is suffering that, because that's what I went through. But I am not running in and going, oh, this is entertainment. Awesome. I'm eager to see this. That is not my end of this deal. This is not entertainment to me. This is not me wanting to know. I already know. Good. I just want to be there to help people who are going through the same thing, because I know what it made me feel like and the trauma it did to me. That's my end of the stick here.
Okay.
And Alex is saying, please send me.
Okay, this will be the last question because it's right along the same lines. If you can investigate one building, one of two, would you investigate building A, which has the friendly spirit with quote unquote moderate activity, kind of lights, flickering or smells, or building B, a negative dark spirit with extreme activity?
A.
Really? You would choose the nice, easy, nice
number
flowery
one
smell?
Absolutely.
A. Come on, let's see. What's the answer? A, B, A. Lots of A's. Ricky's right after. She's right there with me.
So just
hold
to
on,
really,
B.
I get that. But as you're answering these questions, I just want to ask everyone that's saying B,
A.
have you ever experienced
B.
something truly dark and horrifying?
We're asking opinions.
I am,
This
but I'm
is a
asking.
simple question. Which one
I
would they
get
do?
that. But everybody wants to go down into that little dark closet until they find out that that dark closet isn't empty.
B. Even Chuck says B.
Chuck, yeah, I could see. No.
So majority opinion, it's kind of, it's maybe 70-30, 60-40.
That's because the A's are very intellectual.
Don't call them names. Don't call them names.
The A's are intellectual, smart, logical people that know. That's the safer bet. We're going to come out of this okay. The other ones, they might not be coming back.
All right. Well, again, this was fun bringing this back.
There's actually some things that are scarier than people, unfortunately. And I do find people scary, but there are some things scarier than people, believe it or not.
We haven't done this in a while. This was fun to bring.
Gives
this
you
back.
A little fun.
It's been too long since we've done this, and it was good that you guys got involved and had fun with it too. We'll probably come back Sunday or Monday. Probably Monday, because Sunday we're going to be recovering from 2 days of grueling events and more events. So we'll do a whole wrap up on Caldwell Parsonage, Liberty Hall when we come back on Monday. All right, guys.
Be safe, stay healthy, and please, please be kind to each other, because it makes all the difference in the world.
Night, guys.
Good night.